What's going on? Mike Neumann here with Inside Natural Bodybuilding at the conclusion of the men's middle class here at the IFPA Yorton Cup Pro World Championships in Chandler, Arizona. Some of the best in the world take the stage, and they're all bringing it today, too. Well, I just got to watching this class. Philip, you got your work cut out for you, man. It's a tough class, tough lineup. You got Cleveland Thomas in your class, Paul Tomasi's in your class, Eric Alstrup's looking the best I've ever seen him look before, and they had all four of you guys at one time lined up right in the middle, and I got it all on camera, too, so check my YouTube channel out for that. But how's it feel getting off stage, and what are your thoughts?
I feel good. I came in shape, but I came in a little bit lighter than I thought I would. But size-wise, I think I'm still pretty much where I was.
Yeah.
Condition-wise, I think I'm in top condition. But I'm lighter than Cleveland. Eric Alstrup, like you said, came in unbelievable shape. It was the first time for me to compete against him. Paul Tomasi comes in shredded. So it was a very tough class. Everybody said that the middleweight is going to be the most competitive class of all. And anytime you go against the reigning world champion, the Yorton Cup champion, who's Cleveland Thomas, it's going to be tough. And he looked very thick. I told him he was like a Ninja Turtle because of all the muscle he's got. So, they compared me and him and Eric Alstrup a lot. So I know it's between us three, and, I just got to go with whatever happens tonight. I know that I did my homework and I did the best I could. And, after a year off from competition, this is where I wanted to be.
Right, yeah, you look like a heavyweight to me. You don't look like anything. You were close to lightweight class, but you ended up being a middleweight today. 175, not that weight means everything, but it's your lightest for a long time. You haven't been 175 probably since you were young 20s, I would say, huh?
Yeah, since I was about 27, 28 is the last time I was at that weight. It was when I was a novice in the NPC shows. And I, beefed up, and I was mainly around 185, 190.
Yeah.
Then, as I get older, I'm seeing right now it's harder to hold on to, the size and everything else. This time I did some things different.
Yeah.
I dieted a lot slower. I took 16 weeks and basically stayed, try to lose the 2 pounds every week. And I think it worked really well for me. I kept my sodium high, but I was 186 on Tuesday, and all of a sudden when I dropped my sodium on Thursday, just 10 pounds just went off.
Wow.
So, but I feel like I kept my size, and that's what's all that's important. I'm not worried too much about the scale. It's good that I made the middleweight class so I can go against Cleveland, and like I said, and Eric Alstrup and everybody else, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I've been wanting to see since 2010, because you last faced Cleveland in 2010 when it was one of the best lineups I've seen at their IFPA Pro USA ever, plus Moji was there as well, and I've been dying to see you and Cleveland get back on stage together, as well as you and Kiyoshi, which we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. You're going to see Kiyoshi Moody in a couple weeks. Let's get this one out of the way first. So you flew here, and you flew in late last night as well. Now, a lot of competitors might fly in early so they don't got to worry about the water retention, but was that something you had to worry about, or what was your way to work around that?
I did worry about it a little bit, but, I have a family. I have a life outside of, just bodybuilding. This is now become, I love bodybuilding to death. I'm always going to be involved, and, my wife even did a bikini competition, so I know we're going to still do things in the future. Yeah. But the bottom line is we have kids. They had school, had to take them to babysitters, so all those moving parts played into me getting a later flight because I couldn't be selfish and try to fly in here early. I had to do what I had to do for the family. So I came in last night while I was flying. The way I kind of got around the water retention thing was basically on my flight I just had chicken the whole entire time. Yeah. I didn't have any carbs, didn't have any water at all, and it was a 5-hour flight, but I used that time to sleep. So if you're sleeping anyway, you're not eating and drinking anyway. So I used that time to kind of sleep and prep my body, and then I was able to stay awake most of the night and kind of like refeed my body. So yeah, it worked out.
Well, Philip Ricardo Jr. is a prime example of how you can live the lifestyle, be a family man, work a full-time job, and still be one of the best bodybuilders in the world. So it can be done. You don't got to live in the gym to be one of the world's best. That's for sure. Okay, so let's talk about in 2 weeks. We've got the Natural Olympia coming up. Everybody wants to see Philip Ricardo Jr. versus Kiyoshi Moody. We're going to see it on stage in 2 weeks. Got to get this one out of the way first, okay? But that's got to be in the back of your mind. What are your thoughts in the Natural Olympia in 2 weeks?
It definitely is. I got my sponsors here, the Body Evolution, Jason Hansen, got my wife here. So it's a big deal for us because that's like our big show when it comes to Body Evolution. We have a huge team of pros and amateurs that qualified for the Natural Olympia. And of course for me, obviously the showdown with Kiyoshi is the big thing. Kiyoshi is, of course considered, he's a 3-time Natural Olympia, 3-time Natural Universe. He is the one right now that everyone has to go through if you want to consider the best. So I relish that chance and that opportunity and the challenge. And of course, like I said, I knew I had to get by this first because if I don't, if I can't stand up with these guys here, then if I lose, it's not going to make much of a difference then because it's going to be like an afterthought. But I want to make sure that I have my full concentration on the Yorton, and then after that, Kiyoshi, of course, is the next biggest challenge. And, it's never a never-ending battle, in natural bodybuilding. It would be nice if we can all meet on the same stage. Yeah. But, there's an international effect at the Natural Olympia. Here you've got, almost 40 of the best, natural pros in the world. Yeah. So it's two different shows, and I want to challenge myself both ways. But when it comes to Kiyoshi, of course, I would lie to you if I didn't say he was in the back of my mind. We're good friends. I think he pushes me to be my best, and I probably do the same for him. And we talk all the time. I'm sure he's wondering how I'm doing this show, but I definitely am looking forward to 2 weeks. But right now, Cleveland And, you know, Eric and everybody else, they're on my mind for this show. Of course, Moji and, you know, whoever wins the lightweights and heavyweights.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, certainly. I think Kiyoshi planned on being at this show, but I think he chose to sit it out because it does make it a little harder to stay on your diet when you're out of town. So I think he chose to stay home. That way he can stay on his diet because he wants to give you everything he's got. And he says he's on his way to being at his best. So we'll see on November 10th in Reno, Nevada. I'll be there as well getting video footage for you guys, so check that out. But right now today, you got Moji Alua. He's in the lightweight class. I think he's probably got a pretty good shot at making the overall pose down. The toughest class is the middleweight class against you and Eric Alstrip, Paul Tomasi, Cleveland Thomas. That's the battle I've been wanting to see. So we'll see. But how'd you feel up there? What do you think your chances are of taking it down?
I felt great. You know, like I said, I can tell that I was in great shape when I started pumping up. I could see the vascularity, the dryness, things coming out that I wanted to come out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I look at Cleveland, and he's super thick, and, you know, he's got a lot of mass on him. So it's going to be a battle of, you know, two kind of different physiques. He's got perfect symmetry. So I know the judges had their work cut out for both of us, and Eric Alstrip was kind of a hybrid between the two of us. So it's a battle. And they kept moving us from the middle to the side and this and that. So I'm sure the judges were, you know, each of them had a different opinion on what they were looking for. All I can do is say that I did my best and hope for the best tonight. So
yeah, it's certainly the best Yorton Cup I think I've ever seen, and it's just going to be an epic battle tonight. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes on. And one more shout out to thebodyevolution.com. What Body Evolution products have you taken to get yourself ready for this show, Philip?
Oh, I've taken their Evolve, I've taken their whey protein, and my biggest is Boom, which is their pre-workout. I mean, nothing gives me more energy. As a matter of fact, I took it before I came on stage just to give me that energy boost, because I think that's important, and hopefully that helped me out tonight or this morning, because, you know, you need something to. They drilled us for a good, you know, I don't know how long it was, but I came off the stage sweating. You know, they moved us around. You had to stay tight. They're looking at you no matter what pose or position you're in. So I took Boom before I got on stage and helped me pump up and helped the vascularity come out. I think I had a lot of vascularity on stage, and so that is one of my best supplements. You know, the best supplement that BE has. So if you haven't tried it, Boom is the thing. It's the stuff. It's the Boom.
Yeah, it certainly helps your stamina out while you're on stage. Like, hey, you guys up there, it was a good 20, 25 minutes at least, something like that. And I noticed the more you pose, the more vascularity came out, the more lines came out and all that stuff. And I just took some Boom myself about 15, 20 minutes ago. What I like about this stuff, you don't get that jittery feel. You don't get that heart-pounding sensation. So Boom by thebodyevolution.com. I'm going to keep you guys updated as the Philip Ricardo Jr. does. He's up against the best in the world at the best competition in the world, the Yorton Cup Pro World Championships taking place in Chandler, Arizona tonight. I'll keep you guys updated. Give him a shot, Philip Ricardo. This is Mike Neumann. This is Philip Ricardo Jr. This is Inside Natural Bodybuilding, and we are out of here. Thanks for watching. Good stuff, Phil.